More shameless. What I tell them? Rewind. Shameless.
United in the Europa League. United in Europa League. United in Europa League. Europa League. Me tell them one time and me say Europa League. One time you have to see us in the Europa League. We not the conference. That for the idiot. Why them in a sense? In the summer we have to spend bare pound and pence. Owen making predictions, jump off the fence. United only good in a past tense. Europa League and a conference.
Anyway.
Oh, it's good. It's really, 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 really good. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. It's Europa League settings, and that's why we have the Europa League intro, the best Europa League intro out there. Forget UEFA's one. You got United View one. The remix. We're going to talk about the press conference. Flex, how you doing? You got to be hyped. You got to be hyped after that.
I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped. Oh, I can't believe you brought that back. I thought that was long gone, buried in the United View archives, mate. Never to be seen again footage.
I literally, honestly, a peek behind the curtains, folks. We're just getting ready 2 seconds ago. I went, oh, and by the way. Oh, it's so good. It's good.
You got no respect for us, man. Oh,
it's good,
mate. We had to just do that because we just felt so low against Palace, but oh, mate. And it's ironic that Palace is the next game as well. Well, the next game.
There you go. And I'm telling you now, every Europa League game, I mean, even if it starts getting serious, I'm talking all the way to the final if we get there.
That's the theme tune, yeah.
Can you imagine? Oh, it's good. It's good. But we're going to get into the press conference. How do you follow it? We're going to get into the press conference. Erik ten Hag has just spoken to the assembled media at Carrington ahead of tomorrow's opening group stage game against Real Sociedad at Old Trafford. Arguably, you would say probably one of the harder games of the group stage as well. He was joined by a player. You forget, actually, for these European press conferences, it's not just the manager, it's also a player. He was joined by Diogo Dalot. So we're going to get into all of the questions, all of the answers. It was a typical Ten Hag press conference as well, in some of his short, blunt answers, which I enjoyed immensely. So let's get into it. Team news to start off with. He was asked about Anthony Martial, said, what's the situation with Martial? Is he going to be back? When is he going to be back? And Ten Hag said, quote, he, referring to Martial, is still out. He is progressing, but he is not ready to get in the team training or in a game just yet. Flex, I believe they said that he might be back at the end of the month. And we kind of did talk about Martial. It was on the Full View at the week on Monday. And how do you feel about Martial at the moment? Because obviously, look, we're playing actually really good football, you know.
Yeah.
And his cameo against Liverpool was excellent. But it's kind of like, not that he's getting a bit forgotten, but he is sort of placed in the back of the minds a little bit at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. It's out of mind for a little bit because, you know, the world keeps turning and the games keep coming thick and fast. The results keep improving. But I still think when he's fit, we got to get him back in there. You know that we've got to get him going again. Just like everybody else who's had to bide their time and get fit, they've got to prove it to Ten Hag. But you know, if you go off the back of how he even came on against Liverpool, he wasn't 100% fit then. You know, he could only do 45, and that came at half time over Ronaldo, who was fit, who'd started the last game against Brentford. So, and didn't Ronaldo play 90 against Brentford? I think he did.
I think so, yeah.
Obviously, it's nothing to write home about, but in terms of him playing the 90, and like Ten Hag alluded to during this presser, that he started against Brentford. So, yeah, I think Ten Hag clearly has faith in him. It proves that in the Liverpool game, the fact that he was a couple of weeks, he had all pre-season, so he knew his philosophy and his tactics. But in terms of fitness-wise, he still played him when he wasn't 100% fit. He played him to what he could offer for that game, which shows maximum faith in him. So I think Ten Hag will be keen to get him back as quickly as possible, and I think he goes straight back in.
Yeah, I think he does. I think he goes straight back in. You will say though, like if he comes back and it's another injury,
Oh,
then you really start to
absolutely.
go,
Yeah,
you know,
of course,
because by the time he gets back, end of the month, that's nearly 10 games that have been played in the Premier League by that point. That's nearly like a quarter of the season. Well, it's over a quarter of the
exactly.
season
He's
that he
got
would
to
have
get. He's got to
missed.
hit the ground running again. And also, you can't rule out though, especially with Ten Hag, you can't rule out if Rashford keeps scoring. I know he's not scoring all of his goals from the number 9 position, and I'm not saying we're fine with Rashford, and I'm not saying that, but you know, a lot can happen between now and the end of the month. And if Marcus Rashford keeps starting up front in Premier League games and doing well, or indeed if Ronaldo starts coming in and starts smashing it, a lot can change in a few games. Look what's changed in the last 4 games, everything. So in another 4 games, we could be in a different position for the better. But you know, Martial might find it difficult to get back in. But you know, that's what we want. You know, Sancho might have to sit on the bench because Rashford's still doing well, and he goes to the left, and then Martial comes in because Anthony's there. We don't know. You know, Anthony might need a little bit more time because he might struggle in the next couple of games. So you put Sancho back on the right and Rashford on the left, and go back to what we had in pre-season, Martial up front. There's so many different options. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens, man.
The next question, this is when it got actually quite interesting. And I was interested to see if anyone would ask Ten Hag about this. And they did. They asked him about the Eric Bailly comments. Now, we spoke about Bailly's comments this morning on the morning show. You spoke with KG about them at the end of yesterday's Flex and KG show. But Ten Hag was asked about Eric Bailly's comments, saying, you've been quite objective with your selections. In your analysis from last season, did you think that was the case, talking about any potential bias towards English players as opposed to foreign players? Ten Hag said, quote, "I cannot say about that. I was not in charge last season. Do nationalities impact my decisions? Not for me," basically. And again, that was the follow-up part of it. So it must be cleared there. So he said, I wasn't in charge last season, so I can't really say. And they said, well, do nationalities impact your decisions? He went, not for me.
Absolutely. I mean,
No.
the best way to answer it on both fronts, you know, the first bit, I wasn't here about last year. Stop asking me. Like, it's nothing to do with me. I'm not allowing any negativity into what I'm doing now. You know, everyone said about the whole Ralph thing, and he should have done this and he should have done that, and he should have listened to Ralph and he should have did this, especially after them 2 games. Look now, everyone's now praising Ten Hag for making his own decisions, for, you know, standing by his own decisions, changing what he did at the beginning, and getting the best out of some of our players so far in them 4 games that we've been winning. So it just shows you how much things can change in a short space of time. And then the second part, short and sharp. Just, no, it doesn't. It doesn't affect. Of course, nationality doesn't affect
and
my
also,
thing. And it proves it already.
I mean, yeah, he's got proof that isn't the case. And also, even if it did, he is never going to come out and say that. Could you imagine? Yeah, it does actually.
No. I prefer players who played in the Dutch league. They've got to play.
I only prefer Dutch players. Could you imagine if he said that?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so and again, what's he supposed to say about the past? Because there have been a couple of questions in the past where he's been asked about, last season this, last season that, and he's always going to say the same answer. Well, I wasn't here, so I can't say how things were because I wasn't in charge. You know. And in fairness, I'm sure he could give an opinion on his perception of things, but what's the point in doing that? Who benefits of him doing that?
And he would have been briefed. He would have been briefed as well before, you know, look, Eric said those things, just don't comment on that last year. You know, but also I think that's what Ten Hag would have wanted to say anyway. Ten Hag doesn't like saying a lot in these press conferences. He's very shrewd, very stern. You know, outsiders looking in see him as a bit boring and he's not very good with the media. And we know as Man United fans, it's exactly what we need. No messing about, no saying too much and airing our dirty laundry out in public, but also no being too friendly and, you know, being Mr. Nice Guy all the time. It's to the point, to the business, and he's doing his talking on the training pitch / the match pitch when we're playing on the weekends, because we're starting to see something now.
Indeed. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner if you are new. You can also join the UV Members Club by clicking the link in the video description. You get your badges, you get your emojis, which you can put in the chat right now. You've got the flex emoji, the KG emoji. I have one now.
You've got the Elvis emoji.
The Elvis emoji. That feels like a lifetime ago already, doesn't it?
I know.
The Marcel Porridge emoji, and more emojis are coming. Plus, you get access to exclusive members-only content such as UV Raw, a behind-the-scenes look at the day-to-day operations of United View.
Just really quickly, because I know you won't take this one. You probably saw this and went past it. Hip Hop Geek says, Owen's defo come a long way. I remember when you were fresh-faced and shy. I remember those days when Owen was fresh-faced and shy. And now he just stirs things up, gets onto people.
Look,
I mean, winds people up.
I'm still
Confidence is booming.
fresh-faced. I don't know if you can see this. I'm still very fresh-faced. I'm just a bit of a bastard. That's the difference now. That's all that's changed.
The real
in
you's
this.
come out.
Oh, 100%. I'm the biggest, I stir it up and I enjoy it and I don't hide it. That's what I like to do. And also you can vote for us at the Football Content Awards. The links are in the video description to do that. You can do it via Instagram. You can tag us under the post we've put in there, or you can go to footballcontentawards.com/voting. That's footballcontentawards.com/voting. You can nominate us for anything. And it would be amazing if we could even get into the final phase to be selected. That would be amazing. So if you wish, you can nominate us there. The next question was about rotation, because we were expecting a lot of rotation going forward, especially tomorrow. And Ten Hag was asked, is this the tournament to see rotation of players, especially with the schedule ahead? He said, look, we have to win every game. We want to win every single tournament. We have to take things serious. We have to win every game. That's the mentality. And he was followed up with a question saying, you have the squad now. You look at your subs, they're itching to start. You have to keep them happy. How do you keep them happy? And Ten Hag said, everyone gets their game time if they perform well. We need everyone. I'm sure there are some players that might not be happy because they won't be playing all of the games. But we have a lot of games to cover. Obviously, there's the World Cup and all of the cups in England as well, which we do have a ton of cups, don't we, in England as well. So basically saying we're going to need everyone, but we're going to take this competition seriously because we want to win it, which again, what else is he going to say? But I will say I do believe it when it comes to Ten Hag, because, the Europa League is such a strange competition, isn't it, Flex? Like at this stage, in the group stage, and when you have the sort of smaller teams in, you sort of go, whatever. Yeah. But once you get to the stage where the Champions League teams start to drop in, you get to those sort of quarterfinals or knockout phases.
Quarterfinals,
it feels proper. Like you can't argue that when it's sort of quarterfinal stage or semi-final or Europa League final, it still does feel like an event. You know what I mean? It feels like a European final, doesn't it?
Yeah, the Europa League / the UEFA Cup, as it used to be the second tier of the European football. It's always been something. You know what I mean? It's not where, the biggest teams want to be, but when they find themselves in that, absolutely take it seriously. Do you know what I mean? It's a European competition. You win it, you get into next year's Champions League. You play the winner of the Champions League and the Super Cup. It's a big deal. And it's a shorter route into the Champions League if you're struggling for league form as well. So obviously it's always, and it's a cup. So you win any cup, it can breed confidence, especially how early we are in this cycle with Ten Hag. If he can get a trophy in his first season, that's what I was saying in the morning show, any trophy. That's why I do believe him. He wants to win all of it. And you know what? You're talking about rotation, but I just thought, I don't know what you thought, but I just had a little inkling that I don't think he's going to make as much changes as we think.
You think?
I don't know. Maybe I could be completely wrong on that. But the fact that Dallow's in there, because usually the player that's in there, there's a strong chance they play. So that's one that
I thought that.
Wan-Bissaka's definitely going to start.
But Wan-Bissaka wasn't on the bench at the weekend either, was he? I don't think.
No. I can't remember. I didn't even look at the bench.
He definitely wasn't. He definitely wasn't for the Leicester game. He definitely wasn't on the bench for the Leicester game. I don't know if he was at the weekend. Let me check now. But that could be a situation where Dallow starts, and even that kind of worries me a little bit because I'm thinking, he's playing games a lot.
There you go. And then I thought to myself, when he was just the way he was talking about the players and saying, if you play good, momentum, and we want to get the players playing, and when he was just talking positively about the players that have been playing and how important it is, Wan-Bissaka's injured.
He wasn't on the bench. They're saying he's injured.
Or personal, she will. There you go. He
so Dallow's playing. I did see that. Yeah, I did see that actually on Wan-Bissaka on his Instagram. He put up a story yesterday, I think. So there might be something going on there. But either way, Wan-Bissaka's not playing. Then
there you go. So that's the first thing. So there's already a player who's played a lot of games who's, but you could look at it two ways. Because look at what they've done already, playing those back-to-back games really quickly. And then now, 3 days later, there's another game. Maybe these are fit players. Like these are sometimes we forget that as a professional footballer, because it isn't like the norm in the new type of new age game of people not trying hard and people not being at it in slow-paced games sometimes. We forget that, like, these are highly tuned athletes. Like, this whole thing of they're not fit enough to do this or they're not fit enough to... A lot of the time, it is bullshit. Like, you do have to rotate your squad. I get that and manage it, but there's 5 subs now. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, for these guys to go every 3 days, sometimes if you're a player, you're thinking, yeah, I'm in my groove, mate. This is fine. Like, unless I'm actually carrying a knock where I need more time to recover, you know, if you think about it, for a lot of the times, a lot of these guys can do it. And the fitness...
Especially Diogo Dalot. Do you remember Dalot, was it last year, where he played in, like, the under-21s Euros, the Euros, the European Championships, then did the pre-season with Manchester United, and he literally had no break, played games all the way through, and he was back early with everyone else.
So, like, you can't... We just forget that because we haven't really been blessed with that type of commitment and seeing players like Shaw and Maguire and, you know, you might say, I don't know, Martial might break down in injury. Like, we've just had lots of reminders of what that's like to not have those players. But when you're talking about Martinez and Malacia and this new Dalot and even Eriksen, like, look at what he's been through. The guy's fit, isn't he? He's been at it. He's been one of our top runners, if not the distance covered.
Starts tomorrow then.
I think one of him, because I think Donny's injured, isn't he? Or is Donny not? I'm not sure.
He wasn't asked in the press conference. I was surprised, actually. I thought he might be asked about that.
It would have been a time, because if he is injured, you know, who's going to play number 10? There's got to be someone out of the first team who's been playing. And you might say to them, right, okay, Eriksen, you give me 60 minutes. Bruno, you come on and give me 30 minutes.
I reckon it'd be Bruno.
Yeah, or probably
Bruno wants to play games, won't he?
Yeah, and he's fit. Bruno's a very fit player. Do you know what I mean? He's never lagging or struggling with fitness. So just on that, when we were saying that there's going to be wholesale changes, you would think there would be a lot, but I don't think it's going to be as wholesale as we might think. I think De Gea still starts. I think Martinez doesn't. I think Martinez will start and Thingy won't start. I think it'll be Martinez and Maguire.
Really? You don't think Lindelof's going to get involved?
I don't think. I just got a feeling. I just think, and I could be wrong. I'm not going to say I hope I'm wrong. I want Erik ten Hag to do whatever he thinks fit. I just think that, you know what, it's the first Europa League game, and we're playing the second best team in the group at home. Can't afford to mess about. Still, like, you got to get the 3 points on the board. Like, I don't know. I just got to feel like Ronaldo will start. You know, maybe Rashford won't start. I think Elanga would start. I think Anthony starts. There's some obvious ones in there. I think Casemiro and Fred start. So there are a lot of changes, but I just think there might be a couple where we think he still wants them in for a bit of continuity.
We'll
see tomorrow. We'll see, yeah.
But, I mean, Martinez did come off injured at the weekend, didn't he? Well, injured. He was
just to rest.
It was a bit of it was a slight knock. So if he played him, I'd be like, is that the wisest decision?
I want it to be, you know, the changes, but also you look at, you know, if you put Maguire and Lindelof in there, you haven't got it. I don't know. Played. Lindelof hasn't even played this season. I don't know, but he's got to play sometime. But yeah, if he can't play in the Europa League, then when can he play? That's the time to do it. I don't know. I just think there's not going to be as wholesale changes as we might think, and obviously Dalot's already one of them. So.
But be sure to smash a like on the like button. Got over 500 people watching. Share the video if you're enjoying it as well. This was a good question, Flex. He was asked about Thomas Tuchel. Big breaking news this morning. Thomas Tuchel has been sacked by Chelsea after 6 Premier League games. Already, 2 managers have been sacked in the Premier League. Absolutely wild. Of course, Tuchel Chelsea lost last night in the Champions League, their first Champions League game. But considering they've spent a world record amount this summer for a Premier League club, just days after the window is shut, to fire your manager is quite a wild situation. Reports that possibly they might approach Graham Potter from Brighton as a replacement. Well, we'll see what happens with that. But Ten Hag was asked if he has any reaction, if he had a reaction to the Thomas Tuchel news this morning. And Ten Hag said, quote, "I feel sorry, but there is nothing I can say. It's Chelsea, not Manchester United." The follow-up question was, are you surprised? And Ten Hag said, it's early in the season. Yes.
My manager.
It is surprising though, isn't it? And look,
I'm not surprised.
I've got a few friends that are Chelsea fans, right? And I messaged him straight away. You know, got to.
Yeah, absolutely. I've done exactly the same thing.
Yeah, and my point was that I don't know if Thomas Tuchel could have turned it around at Chelsea. You get the feeling that maybe not, right? Because what is wild is they spent so much money and yet they seemed further off than ever, which
They were
was
on
really
downhill, man.
which was really odd.
It's always
but
going to happen.
it is still really early. They're more cutthroat now than they were under Abramovich. I don't even think Abramovich would have sacked him after 6 games.
I think Thomas Tuchel was the beneficiary of the fact that Abramovich had to leave. I think the fact that all that ownership stuff went on and there was uncertainty, you know what I mean? They got away with one. They really got away with one.
You're saying that Tuchel would have been gone anyway?
Yeah, I think the writing's been on the wall for a long time. I think the credit, the tokens and the credit that he got from winning the Champions League the year before last helped a lot. And the Super Cup, that helped a lot. Obviously getting to a couple of finals last year as well, you know, helped a lot. I mean, I said at the beginning of the season, I've got to hold my hands up. I said, don't write Chelsea off because if they have a decent transfer window, they can be back at any time. But Tuchel,
I did. I think I might have actually said at the beginning of the season,
might be the first.
There's a manager, just because of new ownership and players,
and new ownership, new players, and also let's just not kid ourselves. The football's not been footballing there. Like that, he hasn't got the best out of their attacking players. They look worse now. They've spent that money. They look even more stale, disjointed. And now is the time, actually, though, where you go, you know what, though? Now they've made that change early. They get someone like Graham Potter in, or Pochettino, or Zidane, or I don't know, whoever it's going to be. You know, a new lease of life with that squad. Could they get more out of it? They could be quite dangerous. But I still think there's just an imbalance. I just look at what a turnaround it'll be if they start playing amazing. So I just look at Ziyech and Havertz and Pulisic, and
the midfield
the midfield looks a bit stale. I just look at them and think, I just think they bought wrong. Like I think Sterling can help, and who knows with Aubameyang, but it just didn't really make sense. So I think, and now those signings that have been made, the new manager's got to come in and get them going because they're just all new signings.
What I thought.
Aubameyang's come because of Tuchel.
Tuchel, and the centre backs they signed was because Tuchel likes to play free. Wants to play free at the back and the wing back system and all this kind of thing. Like it's someone else's team. That's why I just thought it was. I thought
Graham Potter can inherit that though because he plays.
I think so. He does play. He does play the 5, but it just that's why I did think that Tuchel probably would end up going, but not this early. And maybe, look, it might be a stroke of genius by Chelsea because they might look at, say, United last season and went, you left it too late to get rid of your manager and then the wheels completely fell off.
You can call it that, exactly. And let's not get this twisted. This is not uncharacteristic for Chelsea.
No.
You know, Watford do this all the time and just get rid of their managers. You know, they just, you know, and they get criticised for it. So, rightly so, Chelsea have been in the spotlight. But Chelsea have been doing this for time. Chelsea have been doing this since their inception. Well, I say since their inception. That was 2004. But since they got the P's.
But also as well,
you know what I mean?
it's an interesting indication of what this new ownership is like, right? You know what I mean? Like they spend money and they don't care. You know what I mean?
No.
It's
following on from Roma and Abramovich, mate. Same thing.
Exactly. Shubin with a super chat says, "Can we beat Man City? Their counter attack is more strong." I think if we've beat City in not last season, but in a few years prior by playing counter attacking football, which we can do.
We have to play counter-attacking football against them.
You know, if you don't, you're naive, to be honest. Next question was actually from Adam from United Stand, so big up to him. It's great to see other channels getting in there, asking questions for big events like Europa League. You know what I mean?
That's what you need,
it's amazing.
That's what you need. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, his question was good as well.
It was good. It was to Diogo Dallo asking about, obviously, the right-hand side. Now, Anthony is involved in that. He asked how Anthony is integrating to the team. Has the fact that Dallo can communicate with him in Portuguese, has that helped with the integration? And how is he doing, basically? And Dallo said, quote, "I mean, you could see the impact he had straight away in our team. It will take time for us to adapt to each other, but I can say he adapted really quickly. He is a very good kid, very open to get help, and he will adapt quickly. Everyone has welcomed him, and I'm sure he will be successful." When he said he's a very good kid, I don't think there's much age difference.
I thought exactly the same thing.
You know what I mean?
Exactly the same thing. Yeah, because Dallo must be like, what, 24 maybe? 25.
Yeah,
tops.
I was thinking. I was like, "There's maybe a couple of years in that."
Yeah,
but you know,
it's just that I've been here longer than you thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Dallo does feel older because he has been around for ages already, right?
Yeah.
But how do you feel about that right hand side? That's quite positive, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's got to be in it. It's got, you know, Dallo's playing really well. Dallo's pushing. He's getting more confident. He's playing really well. And he probably sees himself as somebody who's been through quite a bit at the club because he's come here, played second fiddle for so long. question marks over him for so long, looked average for so long.
Yeah.
And now it's his time. This is his time. And he almost feels like somebody who could put an arm around Anthony and build a relationship with him and a partnership, which is what we need. We need little partnerships all over the pitch. And Dalot does speak really well. You know, I spoke with Dalot a lot of times on and off camera. I remember one time, this was off camera, we spoke for about 20 minutes. It was after we drew against Burnley last year, and it's pissing down with rain. The players,
horrible, wasn't it?
everyone had gone, and everyone had gone. We were 1-0 up. Then
you got locked in the stadium.
We got locked in the stadium. So yeah, we had a good chat with McTominay at the time, but Dalot, like we were just talking in the stands for like 20 minutes, and we sat and had a wicked talk. I remember leaving that conversation thinking, you know what, Dalot's got a bit about him. Like he would always come over and say hello and speak really well, but he was really honest at the time of that game. You know, I remember because I think, fucking hell, he's honest, which is good. So yeah, I think he's someone he probably sees what Anthony is going to go through as a new player and have to find your feet as a Portuguese speaking player, etc. Doesn't speak much English, and Dalot's English is really good. So yeah, I think he'll be good for him.
And also, he's probably thinking, I know for a fact who's going to be playing in front of me most games now. I didn't know that before. I didn't know if it's going to be Sancho. I didn't know if it's going to be Elanga. I didn't know if it's going to be whoever. Now I know Anthony's Ten Hag's guy. He's going to be playing right wing. I'm going to be playing right back. And you talk about building relationships. That's positive. That's positive in terms of building that relationship. And what is wild, again, he's got like a year difference, but he's absolutely the senior player in that position.
He is,
which is crazy. Next question was asked to Dalot was, how has the atmosphere changed between now and compared to after the Brentford game? And is that due to the manager, or how is that due to the manager? What has he done? Dalot said, it's always difficult when you lose games. We always came here to give 100% to get better. Obviously, after Brentford, we had a full week to prepare. We won the game, but that's in the past. We focus on tomorrow. We give 100% to win games, kind of echoing what Erik ten Hag has been saying recently. The next question was to Erik ten Hag, talking about Scott McTominay and the selection of McTominay, and I guess kind of keeping someone like Casemiro out of the team as well. They said, Erik, you chose Scott again. Is that a sign that if you perform well, you stay in the team? And Ten Hag said, quote,
I missed that bit. Did he say that? Did they ask about McTominay? I watched the whole thing and I have no recollection of this.
He said, the team is improving. The team is improving. It's getting better. But for the players that aren't in the team, they can come in at any moment and maybe do better than the players that are in. I know that you need more than 11 players. We have a really good bench. Basically saying, almost like if Casemiro comes in. Yeah, basically saying if Casemiro comes in, chances are he'll do better than McTominay. He's a better player, but I'm not going to drop a player that's playing well, basically.
That's what I want to hear. It's what I want to hear, man. Like, and again, we say it like the managers can say these things in the pressers, but what happens on Sunday at 4:30? What happens? Yeah. Who plays? And he's showing it in the last 3 games when Casemiro's been there and ready to play. You know, he brings him on late against Southampton, brings him on midway through the second half or towards late against Leicester, and does the same against Arsenal. I really thought he was starting to get him just cooking in those first 2 games and bring him in for the big one against Arsenal. And in that time, McTominay's level just kept going up. So, yeah, I like that. I like that from Erik ten Hag, because on one hand, he's admitting that, listen, I've got class players there who can maybe come in and elevate us more, but I ain't just going to change it based on that. I'm not just going to change it based on what a player's done before, how much things they've won. It is a long season, and there's going to be the right time to bring in Casemiro, because he will get starts. Of course, yeah. But it's true. It doesn't have to be now. Probably has to be tomorrow, but it doesn't have to be now. Do you know what I mean?
100%, especially if they're playing well. We've got over 700 people watching. Not even 200 likes, Fleck. Not even 200. We can do better. We can do better. Next question was about Marcus Rashford. Of course, Rashford's been in really good form recently, goals and assists, which, by the way, is exactly what KG said to him on tour. Was it not?
He did. He did say that.
Motivation.
And he said to Sancho as well.
Yeah, and he's getting goals.
Yeah, and he said it to Martial. Then Martial got injured, so he jinxed that one. But
well, KG was burying a hyena at the time.
But he did get assists.
Well, so
true.
He
did get assists, Martial. First game, got assists. So actually, to be fair, KG can say a 100% record, mate. Told him I need goals and assists, got an assist.
Motivator.
Mr. Motivator settings.
He was asked about Marcus Rashford. Eric Ten Hag said he looks reborn from last season. What's changed with him? What have you said to him? Ten Hag said, quote, what I see is a happy Marcus Rashford. We worked really hard the last 2 months with him on different aspects. He likes it. He wants to transfer it to the pitch. He comes in every day. He enjoys it. He's smiling, a really positive vibe. And if you put all of those things together, like the way of play, and you are happy, you will contribute more to the team. So basically, Ten Hag saying the reason that Rashford is playing better is because he's happy. It's because he's happy and he's enjoying being at Manchester United, and he's enjoying what we're doing with him on the training pitch, and it's transferring to the pitch, which I know probably is overly simplistic for Ten Hag to say, but you could argue there were absolutely points last season with Marcus Rashford he was playing where he looked miserable, and his confidence was completely
gone.
on the floor.
Didn't want to be there, head in the sand. And you know what? I said this when everyone was saying, would you that thing of before Eric Ten Hag even come, would you sell Marcus Rashford or would you not? And I said that, look, I would give him another year because there's a new manager coming in. And even at the time, everyone was saying, no, he's proved he's not at it. Sell, if we get 80 million, sell him, this, that, and the other. And I said, look, if the new manager comes in and wants to sell him, fine. But I don't think Eric Ten Hag's going to do that. I think Eric Ten Hag would look at a player like Marcus Rashford and think that is the perfect base that I need. I can get him going. That's a challenge for me. That's one of his little proteges, one of his little projects, isn't it? Like, how do you get the best out of Sancho with his technique and the system? Marcus Rashford's been poor for ages. How do you get someone like him going? He's brilliant things. And you're giving me Ronaldo. How do you get Varane fit and playing? Give me someone the quality of Varane. A good quality coach like Ten Hag saying, these are good players. These are good players that if I just take away their weaknesses and like I said, push forward their strengths, they can be really valuable to us. And look, we're even still saying that Rashford ain't even performance over per 90, has still got gears to go up. And he's still scoring goals and getting assists. He's having a say over the games. Yeah,
sometimes even in those games where he has scored the goals and got assists, you come out of it going, did he play really well? And you go, some of his touch is a bit off. Some of the hold-up play's not there, but you can't argue with the numbers. So if the numbers are there already, imagine when he really actually starts properly playing well.
This is before we're polished. This is before our style of play up the top end of the pitch is even complete yet. You look at the first goal against Arsenal. I was watching it back today, and it's like, that's where we want to get to.
You went being.
I didn't even realize. Goal, by the way. I was like, because you're there in the moment. You're not taking in that how many players have touched the ball. I remember like a big sigh when from the crowd when Martinez went back to the keeper, and the Arsenal fans were laughing because we started off with Anthony doing a couple like fake tricks, and then we ended up back at the goalkeeper, and everybody saying, look at that. We recycled the ball, invited them onto us, and Cam spoke about it in the tactical view. So that's what I'm saying. Rashford's playing in a team that isn't even there yet, but is improving. And what is good to see is that he's getting better with the team. It's not like, the team's leaving him behind. We're getting a little bit better, and he's still doing the same old breeze. No, he's almost gone back to. I think Rashford just needs to go back to what he was, and Cam speaks about it a lot. Not trying too much, not trying to be too technical. Just be direct. Give yourself not a lot of time to think about what you want to do. Get it out your feet. Get your strike off. Get it out your feet. Lay someone else in. Don't slow the game down and try to be too intricate. And I think that's what Ten Hag's telling him. It's a bit different when he's playing in the 9 because there's no Martial and he doesn't fancy.
I think he looks less comfortable. I think he looks less
comfortable
with that. But like when Ronaldo came on, scores 2 goals.
He can go back to the left. Exactly. So, there's definitely something in that. And you know what? I don't care if we've given him stick and people have said trash for all these things and saying that we should have sold him. I always stuck by the fact that I want to see him playing good. I want to see him come out of this rut. And if he can come out of this rut and play well and contribute like he's doing for the whole season, that's what we need for Manchester United, the club. That's what we need for the team. Yeah,
ultimately, we want every player to succeed. You don't you don't even really want the turnover of players. You want the players that are there to be playing well because it's easier, and hopefully it continues for Rashford. Next question was to Dallo, was about how you enjoying this season and enjoying the competition with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Dallo said, when you have good competition, I like to call it healthy competition. You can see this season, we have very good players in each position, which makes us better as a team. We have a lot to learn together and we have a good squad. Now, Flex, this is where the last couple of questions came in and they were brilliant.
Yes.
If you haven't seen the press conference, Erik ten Hag, you might say, oh, I like language or what? No, it's not. Erik ten Hag is the master at using silence, and he is the master. He's right up there with Pep in using the short answer, the one-word answer. Now, he was asked about Cristiano Ronaldo. Is Cristiano Ronaldo ready to start? And he had a bit of a smirk, and he said, he started already against Brentford. And then the journalist pushed back on him and said, well, he hasn't started since then. He went, oh, yeah, and it hasn't started since then. But yeah, he's ready to start. And then it goes, okay. So the journalist goes back to him and says, given Ronaldo's age and the demands of the position, can he even be a starting striker for Manchester United this season? And Ten Hag said, of course. And that was it. and there's this silence that goes. That goes. Of course, and everyone goes.
Right. Thank you very much for coming.
Next question.
Yeah.
You from the BBC. You know, It's brilliant. It is brilliant. It's great. And the thing is, it's so effective, and it's such an effective tool in press conferences because let's be honest. And look, the journalist is doing their job, but the journalist knows what they're doing when they ask a question like that. When they're asked Cristiano Ronaldo, given his age, can he be a starting striker for you? It's like it's fishing, isn't it? It's fishing.
100%.
Am I going to get that response? And Ten Hag, of course.
Yeah.
Basically,
and that's
it's a little return. It's just go. You give me something, I'll volley it back to you. Easy.
It's straight back, and that's how you catch people off guard when you fire things back to them quickly. You give them less time to think about it. I just feel like it also shows, though. I mean, me and KG were talking about it, and it reaffirms what we were talking about even yesterday. You know, this whole thing that Ronaldo needs to get up to speed. He hasn't had a pre-season. No, he just don't fancy him as the number one striker, as the number 9 right now. He wants him coming off the bench to impact the game. He wants to start with mobility and runs in behind and fluidity up front and see where we go from there. And so far, it's been working. It's not like, the Ronaldo stands can say like, look, he's been dropping him and we ain't even been doing much better. Well, we have. And in credit to Ronaldo, this is not to disrespect Ronaldo, in credit to Ronaldo, he's looked good coming off the bench as well. He's looked all right. You know what I mean? Against Leicester, we could have scored. He sets up 2 chances, gets a chance himself. Probably should have got a clean through on goal if Fred gets the pass right. Helps Rashford get space. He presses Sambi Lukonga, which makes him make a bad pass and we turn over the possession. So Ronaldo's doing fine as he is. It's just weird that him seeing it like that. Us seeing it like that. But for Ten Hag, I like the fact that he's basically saying, yes, he is fit to start, i.e., I'm just not picking him because I don't see it the right way to go right now. But there's so many games when he sees a little bit of fatigue in one of the players, a little less intensity in one of them, might take Sancho out, put someone else in, and then there's a space up front for Ronaldo. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. And also, I like it because it forces the journalists, you could answer better questions. Because if you ask a question of, can Ronaldo start? You go, of course he can. Like, you know what I mean? Yes. Yeah, of course he can. He can. Literally. He could start. No, he can never start another football match. Of course he can, And by that point, Ten Hag was already a little bit prickly. And he was asked about Marcus Rashford and his contract. He was asked, Marcus Rashford, his contract, he's out of contract at the end of the season. Are there plans to talk to him? And Ten Hag said, definitely. And then there's a follow-up. So they go, a talk's ongoing. He goes, I don't think he's out of contract. I think Manchester United control the situation. And again, silence. And then you hear, right, thanks. He goes, yeah, see you later.
Yeah, that's it. And just on that, I think, again, he answered it perfectly. Again, we know that Marcus Rashford is a player that he really likes and a player that he was always going to have as his little project to get him firing. And the early signs are promising. That's what I will say, because if Rashford's form goes off a cliff from here and goes back to, then we're back to square one again. But the early signs, I think we can definitely agree that they're positive. One thing we did say about Rashford is don't give him a new contract without him earning it. Don't give him a new contract just for the sake of doing it. What I don't mind us doing, I think we've got the option to put the extra year on, haven't we?
Yeah, and that's what he's basically saying. He's like, I don't
do
think
that. That's the club controls
the season. So the club controls it. He's basically saying, look, he's not out of contract at the end of the season. We're going to extend the option clearly.
Exactly.
We're in control of this. It's a while.
Yeah, and I think that would be smart. At times where we don't handle contract situations very well. Everyone was saying how poor Bruno was after his contract extension, and now he's picking back up again. No one's talking about that anymore. No one's saying in the games that he's been playing in the last four games that he doesn't deserve and he shouldn't have never got that contract. It's just it just happens in that moment. You speak about it and then you move on because it's the results that decide everything. And I think that's what Rashford's. That's where Rashford's at. I think they just invoke that second year because that keeps value on him because it's 2 years instead of 1. So if something does go wrong, there's a good option there where he's got a solid year left on his deal instead of none. So that would be stupid. So when we did the same thing with Pogba, the player doesn't have a say. You just invoke the extra year, and then let's see how Rashford responds. Let's see how he is.
Yeah, and if
all of a sudden, then PSG talks have gone. How long was that? You know
and also, look, if he carries on playing like he is Rashford for an entire season like this, you would go, well, absolutely, give him a new contract. Yeah, not right now, but it's just. Are there plans to talk to him? No, we're not going to talk to him. You know what I mean? So of course, again, he just gets definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
That's it.
It is one of them.
My favorite account's back with a super chat, which is Kevin Gary's shiny head. Do you know what I really enjoy about it? Not only do I enjoy the name, but it's the picture. It's full KG Undertaker settings.
Oh, so funny.
Says Fleck, have you checked on your good friend Matisse?
I haven't yet, so I'm going to give it.
Yeah,
I'm going to give him. I did see a tweet he put. He said, "I just can't believe this" or something like that. So I will check on him /troll as well. I'll do that to a few Chelsea people later on. 100%.
Yes. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. We will be back this evening, won't we, Flex, with a preview for tomorrow's game as well. And then obviously tomorrow, what we got on tap tomorrow? We've got the morning show, and then it's a match day experience.
Game. That's right. Full match day experience, man. Do you know what
exactly. I mean? Match view, road trip, a reaction from outside the ground. We've got it all covered here at United View. So be sure to smash a like, be sure to subscribe, and we'll speak with you again very soon. We're out of here. Peace.